Your trunk, specifically your abdominal muscles, are the key to you staying balanced. Let me explain. First of all, let's define the word balance. Balance is maintaining your center of gravity, which in this case, think of it as your belly button or your low back, specifically your lumbosacral region. That's your center of gravity. And the key for balance is keeping that center of gravity over a base of support, in this case standing. However, base of support can be on our hands, it could be crawling, but if you take a look at crawling versus standing, you'll notice that it's easier to stay balanced when you have 4 points of contact versus 2 points of contact. So now, let's go ahead and take it just a little bit further. So it's keeping your center of gravity over your base of support. So now, what happens when I go to reach? Well, when I reach, I'm taking my upper body and placing it outside my center of gravity, which ultimately is going to require my trunk muscles to engage more aggressively to maintain that center of gravity over what now is a changed base of support from my upper body to my lower body. Now it's easy to just stay stationary and not move because that aligns us very well, so our center of gravity is very equally over our base of support. But when we add the reach, that changes things drastically. Now let's take it one step further. Let's go ahead and let's take a step. Well, now you have a leg and an arm moving at the same time, but you also have a leg and an arm moving opposite. What's going to control those two things and allow them to happen in a uniform, efficient manner? Our trunk muscles. Because once again, as our arms and legs move, our trunk has to react and keep our center of gravity over a changing base of support. So hopefully that makes some sense about how our trunk influences our balance. But it goes much further than that. Because every time we swing our arms and legs, we create a momentum. And that momentum, depending on how fast it is or how slow it is going to dictate how much our trunk has to work to keep our center of gravity over our base of support. That's why moving fast, sprinting, changing direction quickly is going to be far more of a trunk stabilization requirement or engagement or challenge than if we go ahead and walk very slowly or change direction very slowly. That's why I always challenge you to continue to be more athletic, because it's so important, because it's going to develop our trunk and keep our trunk working at a level functionally that allows it to keep our center of gravity over our base of support. But now let's take it even one more step. Why train with bands? Well, it's very simple. A band is a variable resistance. And as I've told you many times before, that variable resistance allows us to change speed of movement or speed of reps. So now that band can increase momentum or slow down momentum, which in turn allows us to move and challenge our center of gravity or our trunk muscles more aggressively with our exercise program. So if I go ahead and I do a simple chest press, which looks like a reach, if I move it fast, my trunk has got to work harder, and if I move back fast, my trunk has got to work even more aggressively to maintain my center of gravity over my base of support while I'm pushing against the resistance. A free weight is going to stay the same speed. A band allows us to change speeds. So in turn, that's going to change momentum. It's going to make our trunk work more aggressively. I hope that makes some sense in why bands are so important when it comes to training your trunk to help keep our center of gravity over our base of support.